Hey guys, welcome back to the Watches and Giggles channel. I'm Chris from Chicago. First off, as always, everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. And if you're returning, guys, thank you so much for coming back. I do really appreciate it. Guys, in today's video, we're going to be discussing alternatives to Rolex. If you are sick of Rolex, if you're tired of playing the game with the authorized dealer, if you don't want to pay above MSRP, I'm going to bring to you two watches today that are in my personal collection that I love and I think will satisfy your need for a luxury watch. But before we get into that, guys, we'll see what I'm wearing. I do have on one of those elusive unicorns, the Rolex SD43. In my previous videos, I almost sold this watch for a Hulk, didn't end up doing it, and very thankful I didn't because I do enjoy it. But all right, guys, let's get into it. So if you're tired of playing that game with Rolex, if you've been on a list forever, if you've been trying to get, even the basic sports model, a regular Submariner, an Explorer, an Air King, a Milgauss, whatever it may be, something that you thought would be attainable, and for whatever reason, the AD's not calling you, they're not giving you the time of day, and you can't get the watch. And we all know steel sports, Rolexes, go for way above market value, MSRP. And you don't want to pay that price. And I don't blame you, quite frankly, because who knows what's going to happen down the road. And you want a luxury watch without getting ripped off. Well, today I'm going to bring you two good alternatives to Rolex that hopefully would quench your need for a luxury watch. It'll quench that thirst, guys. And I bring to you the Tudor GMT and the Omgea Seamaster 300. We're going to bring this closer and zoom in a little bit. So yeah, guys, two good watches here. So if you've been trying to get, for instance, let's say a Rolex Submariner. Well, Rolex recently increased their prices. So a Submariner date in American dollars, I'll be talking, guys, is $9,150. Well, these two watches, both of them can be had for less than the cost of that Submariner date. You're going to have an MSRP of $5,200 for the Seamaster, but you're not going to pay that. You're going to get 15 to 20% off at your authorized dealer, your Omgea authorized dealer, and walk out with around tax between $4,100 and $4,500, depending on the deal you get. Now, the Tudor GMT over here, you're probably not going to get a discount yet, but they are more readily available from your authorized dealer. Just recently, when I went in the other day to try on that said Hulk that I almost traded in my Sea Dweller for, they had a GMT on a bracelet in the case as well as a NATO strap. So they are now available even in Chicago, which is a pretty tough market, guys, if you're not aware of that. It is hard to get a luxury watch in Chicago. But now, finally, this little GMT right here is available readily from your AD in America and in a harder to get city like Chicago. So you can have both these watches for the price of the Submariner date. So my question is to you, why don't you do it? Why not? I've owned these watches for quite some time and they have made me happy. The build quality on both is outstanding. This one obviously is a little better finishing than the Tudor. The Tudor is more of a true tool watch that harkens back to the 5-digit reference numbers of Rolex. Well, this Omgea is outstanding. I think every bit worth the $5,200 they're asking for it. And you can walk into an AD, try it on, pick out, they'll have all the variants most likely. The only one that is kind of getting hard to get is a white dial. But other than that, they should have all of them in there. You can go in there, try it on and haggle. And for the GMT, I think this is the best, honestly, tool watch on the market all around because it has 200 meters of water resistance. You can use it as a diver. It has that GMT function. This will be, I should say, my travel watch for now and forever. And I absolutely love it. I just took it to Maine when I was on a little vacation, and it was wonderful. I had it the whole time, and it performed flawlessly. I understand possibly some hesitance with the GMT as it has had the date wheel issue. I believe the 2020 models have corrected that. This is a 2020 model I purchased back in August, and no issues so far, guys. So knock on wood for me, please, if you don't mind. But listen, I understand the Rolex game can be kind of tiresome. It is tiresome for me. I have been waiting for an Explorer for about 7 to 8 months now, since last February. And it's tiring. It's tiring to wait that long for a watch. Now, if you really want it, you will wait for it, and I understand that because I'm still waiting for the Explorer. But guys, the games that Rolex is playing is a little nauseating. It is a little sickening that you're spending your hard-earned money, and a lot of money. These aren't cheap luxury items. These are expensive items. And you have to wait and honestly, sometimes not get treated very well. So I get that. Now, I've had great experiences, I should say, purchasing both these watches. Walking into the AD was wonderful at the Omgea AD. They treated me like a luxury client, like someone buying something very expensive. And for the Tudor, you know, if you watch that video, the unboxing and everything, you'll know I was invited to a Tudor event, private event, and went, and they actually had it there. So I got lucky in that aspect, but I was treated very nicely. And it was a great experience overall, and I really enjoyed it. And that is part of the luxury game, or it should be part of the luxury game or market, is you should be treated wonderfully and offered a drink and offered, you know, a little snack or a chocolate or something along those lines. And Rolex is getting away from that. And I understand why people are getting sick of them. So I think if you want a luxury watch, you really want a Rolex, but you're sick of it, you're tired of it, and don't want to play that game anymore, and you don't want to pay above MSRP, which I get, I bring to you two good watches. Both of them, you can buy both of them for less than the cost of a Submariner date, which is $9,150. You should get this one around $4,500, and this one the same with tax around $4,500. So that's $9,000. You're going to be paying more than that for the Submariner because they're giving you no discount and you're paying tax. So in Chicago, it's over 10%. So do the math. It's going to be right around $10,000 for that Rolex Submariner. So you can have both of these guys, two-piece value combo, meal deal, whatever we want to call it. And I think will make you happy, and you'll have some variety, and you can switch back and forth. And they're both very enjoyable watches, guys. So two good alternatives, guys, to Rolex. If you're just tired of it, I bring to you the solution, the two combo piece meal deal that can be had for less than the Rolex Submariner date. So that's it, guys. Hope everyone's doing well, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Take care.